Good evening, guys. It's Christina with Heart Acres Homestead and the Geocache family. I just came out here to the backyard after not being out here for several days, and I thought I'd just grab my camera to kind of give a chronicle of the last probably week, if I'm lucky that I have my garden. We did get some very, very cold evenings a couple times this week already. We had some very, very strong winds. It actually uprooted my brownish colored, the only one I got this year, sunflower. They did open. I don't know if it's going to survive or not. It's just so weak. We've tried to replant it. We've put bricks around it. We've put tables around it, everything, trying to get it to stand upright. And it's just, once it was down, I don't think there's much hope for it. Bees are still buzzing around up there, though, so it'd be awesome if I could get some seeds, if nothing else. Cleaned out a lot of this area already. There's just a few of the dwarf teddy bears back there. This little guy here is absolutely adorable. They're just so cute. I had all of these grand hopes, high hopes, of being able to have a fall garden, but with how cold it is getting, I was out front this morning pulling the sunflower seeds out of the sunflowers that we pulled down like 2 weeks ago, and my front sunburst tree is already dropping leaves. I mean, yellow leaves all over up inside of it, and all over the ground already. And so I think the plants know something that we don't. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and just call it quits. As sad as that makes me, I want to work on just cleaning things out and then getting ready for next year so that it can be a better year, so that I'm not fighting weeds as much, things like that. It was kind of a rough year for that. And I have knowledge that I didn't have at the beginning of this year, and so it's not a wasted effort. There are some things that are growing really well. I mean, these zinnias are absolutely spectacular. And, you know, I'm so happy about these because I did these guys from seeds. They're just beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. I've got some buckwheat that flowered. Look at this orange one. Ugh. But the squash plants of all varieties, they have powdery mildew like crazy. I thought it was just the 3 out front that I've been fighting with, but I came back here and it's all of them. And so I feel very, very discouraged and sad, but like I said, I just keep thinking, well, I know what I can do different, and so at least I can do that. Tabasco plant almost ready. These guys, I'm not quite sure how you harvest dwarf teddy bear hamster, dwarf teddy bear sunflowers. They don't have seeds that are like the other sunflowers, so I don't know if they just grow and they're beautiful and then that's it. So I have to get in there and kind of, this is the first one that's really dry, tear it out and see what I can find out there. That guy's really pretty. There's 4 bees in the center of that one. My morning glories are just, all of them are turning yellow and curling up. Coming out here. Snapdragons look fantastic. The lamb's ear is doing great. Here's my little, I don't know what he is, plant. He's doubled in size. But, oh, look, sunflower seeds are actually starting to pop out already. Ooh, that one's really ready. Oh, I may have to come out here, grab that one. We did separate the ducks. I have gone back and forth on male-female situation. My little brown duck back there that we thought was a male because he was breeding with Muffin. So Bean was breeding with Muffin. I thought that was male behavior. So we put Bean with Donuts, and then Donuts is breeding with Bean. So it had gotten so bad that Bean had an infection. I think I mentioned that in one of the other videos. And it still looks rough. We need to get out here and clean it again. So anyway, we separated them. We pulled up my other orange fencing that was on the side of the garden over there so that I could have one, what I thought, male duck back here and the other male duck here. So we had Donuts back there and Bean here, and then Duncan and Muffin were in with the hens. We came out and given everybody fresh water, food. Bean was in here by what we thought was himself. And when my oldest daughter went to let him out, there was an egg in there. And so started researching and found out that it is behavior that is common in young ducks, to just kind of have that behavior and habit. And so anyway, we do have 3 female ducks. So I do not know that Duncan is going to make it through this winter. She just looks rough. And so I'm really thankful that, we did end up getting 2 girls. I don't want to think about not having Dunky. We've had her for so long, but she's getting up there. She's just an old girl. We lost one of our oldest hens, as a matter of fact, this last week too. We lost Elliot. And so, these guys are dwindling as well. I just gave them a patty pan squash that was not ripe. Threw it out there not thinking they'd be able to get into it, and they've already got it hollowed. They're just amazing. So we've got 6 hens left. The only one missing is Yen. She has decided she's going to hatch babies, even though there is no male with her. And so she's in the nest box. But Bo, actually, she was named after Doctor Who. The face of Bo is the big one back there. This one is Lee. That's Buckbeak. And that one is Phoenix, the all red one, and that one is Nargle. So those are our girls. They're all laying. We get beautiful eggs. So they're doing good. I came out here and I pulled all of the beans that were in that because they were starting to turn yellow. So four of the pots emptied. I was going to put carrots in them, but I think, like I said, I'm just going to prepare for next year. So that nasturtium that's hiding between those 2 pots there, I'm going to go ahead and pull. Then I can put all the pots in a row. And I'm going to plant carrots in those next year. The beans do so much better in the ground, and so I'm going to just go ahead and plant those direct sown next year. So I still have this bean one. This is the reddish, purplish one that is green on the inside. I still have this one that is a green one. And then this one here, I think is a lima bean, but I'm not positive. It has very, very flat pods in there. When I go inside, I'll show you guys. So moved my mint down here because it was starting to fry. I got a zinnia up here. It was the only one out of the ones that I planted up here that made it. And so powdery mildew. I mean, it is everywhere out here. Everywhere. My beefsteak tomato, she's doing well. But just the amount of powdery mildew. I came out here and I had cut a couple of leaves, and I wasn't out here for a couple days, and they're covered. So I have a few zucchinis left in there I can grab, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and pull them and then put the black tarp stuff down so that no seeds can come in here through the winter time. Got my tomatillos. These guys were from seed, and don't know if I'm a fan of eating them, but I sure do like growing them. I think they're absolutely beautiful. So cucumbers, we are starting to get quite a few of those. We've pulled like 5 or 6 now, but they also have the powdery mildew. And so, I don't know. I mean, I've got a few little pickles. Well, can be pickles if we can get them big enough, but there's a goofy one in there. But they're just, they look rough. They're not doing well. And so it's disappointing. I came out here and I was just like, well, I guess we're done. Didn't want to be done, but I think we're done. So we will start pulling these off so that I don't have as much to do come the spring. I'm going to put that black barrier down here. Got all of this cleared out, other than the things that fell over. I'll tip them back up. But I'm going to set those up and put the black fabric there. If I have enough of it, I'm going to go ahead and pull the last weeds, black fabric. I'm going to move those two little guys inside what's left of the shed, and just try and get as much fabric down as I can. So this one here looks the healthiest, and there's a couple of patty pans still coming in there, but it does have it coming all over too. The powdery mildew. Kale looks good. Tried to transplant this little guy and it didn't make it. Kale looks good. The alyssum from the pots totally drying out. My eggplant, I guess, is okay. Maybe if I come and give them some vitamins, I might be able to get a few more out of them. Got one in here I can harvest. The asparagus hanging out back there, they're still green, they're still doing good. Pumpkin is drying up quick, so I've got that one I'm going to go ahead and pull in tonight. And then there's 4 other ones. So there's that one right there, and that one right there, and that one right there, and that one's actually starting to turn. So 4 pumpkins. I'm going to collect some ground cherry seeds, berries here, and I'm going to try those again next year. I think it got too much sun up here, so it was just struggling too much. The yellow squash just decimated with the powdery mildew. It's completely died down in the middle, so I think I'm going to pull it so it doesn't spread everywhere. My big gems, I got a few peppers left on that one, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left on that one, and a few more flowers, so those guys will do good. Got a couple in here. The okra, while beautiful, has not gotten to the point that it can flower yet. It didn't have a long enough growing season, and so it's gotten tall. It is definitely past my knee, but still not big enough that it can, actually give me okra. Hi. I don't care. Are you playing in the front?
Yes, out front with the littler kids.
Are you putting the sprinklers on?
Oh no, we were gonna use. They have these guns that you can spray on.
Okay, that's fine. Just be careful. This is my noodle bean. And I went ahead and just left these guys on here so I could get the seeds, because this is the one I kept battling Beanie for. She kept eating the sproutlings. And so I've got 2 huge ones. But it's dropping leaves like crazy. I mean, it's gotten so cold. So maybe these guys might make it to being able to be seeds, but I don't think so. Not the way it's dropping. It's just, it's getting so cold. It is getting so cold. So that's where we're at. I guess it's good timing. I started back teaching yesterday, and the kids started back there one day, public school, and we start back homeschool in a week. We're going to go back after Labor Day. And so I guess it was decent timing, but next year I know that to start my seedlings inside on heat mats and grow lamps, that is what I'm asking for Christmas. Asking my hubby to try and put one together, a couple of them together throughout the winter months, so that come February I can start seeds inside. Colorado's growing season is just way too short, and there's just not enough time for things to make it to maturity. And so that's kind of my goal. Is I want to do everything from seeds. I want to start early. I know that if I want to do a fall garden, I'm already going to have them started by probably July or early August at the latest, so that come the end of August, where we're at right now, they're big enough I can put outside. It is just, I did some seeds in the trays out front, and they've sprouted, and you know, they're growing, but they're just not going to be big enough, I think, before the weather gets cold. And they have to be fairly, you know, established, like the kale. These guys are very cold hardy, and they can do well, provided they're big enough. And the broccoli, the cauliflower, everything I started, I don't think it's going to have a chance. So I'm going to try. I mean, I already started the seedlings, and it's good to experiment, but there's these little noodle beans down here. I don't know what's going to happen. So anyway, that's where it's at. That is, if I don't come out here and just in frustration pull it first, I'm pretty sure the cold is going to get to it beforehand. And so that is pretty much going to be the end of the garden, I think. The powdery mildew is just way too intense back here. So I'm just going to pull everything I can and start putting down that ground cover so that I will be ready for the spring. And I won't have to come out here and spend so much time just weeding before we can even start planting. So learned a lot. It was good. I learned a lot. But it's just sad to see this season coming to an end already. Anyway, that's where we're at, guys. I will try and do a front garden tour tomorrow. And then as I start ripping things out, I can show you guys how I'm placing down my black fabric like I've had here. This was fantastic that I did not have to fight weeds in this area at all. And so I'm going to go ahead and just put it down as many places as I can, so that it makes the spring a lot easier to handle. And then if I've already got my seedlings started inside, the things that I can direct sow, I know if I start my patty pans and my zucchinis and whatnot, these guys that I did in here were all from seed. Well, 3 of them were from seed, 3 of them were store-bought, and they've, you know, grown up to the same size, same production level, you know, in the same timing. And so I know that I can direct sow those and they will be fine. So definitely gonna try different things. I think I'm gonna do my pumpkins out front. I don't know yet. I'm really contemplating cutting the grass way down. I hate grass. I would much rather have a garden and flowers and things like that. So we'll see. I'm gonna pray about it and see what my husband thinks, and he's gonna help me make some beds, and we're just kind of keep growing as we go. So have a good evening, guys. Thanks for following us. I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, and then I forgot to show you guys the pods on this one, but here's what they look like. It looks like a snap pea pod, but I only did beans, and so the bean inside feels like it's about that big. And I had planted lima beans, but I didn't think any of them had made it, but it's filled with them. And so I'm gonna go with, it was indeed a lima bean. So I'm gonna pull all those guys, cut one open and see what it looks like. But yeah, and then I have a couple more beans that are between pots back here that we still have a few more that we can grab off of there. So anyway, forgot to show you guys that, so I just wanted to come back real quick so that you guys could see those pods. So I'll see you next time. Grow as you go. Thanks.